Hey there, everyone. It's Mark here with one final video for the regular season of Season 1 of Wreckstone. So, quick summary. Round 7, last matches we have to go through. Adam versus Carl, myself, Mark, versus Jamie, Pat versus Scott, Trevor versus Rob, Francis versus Greg. So what does this all mean? How does this relate to the standings? What does this mean for the playoffs? Let's take a look quickly at the playoff bracket here. So notice here the breaks. Top 2 will automatically make the semifinals. Top 4 will make third and fourth make the quarterfinals. Fifth and sixth make qualifying round 2, and everyone else is stuck in round 1. So the major standing points here: sixth place, fourth place, and second place are all the points that people want to achieve to be able to skip the rounds. There's not a huge difference between first and second, not a huge difference between third and fourth. It's just in the seeding and who plays who. So, without further ado, let's look at the standings. So, here's what's going on. So, looking at from the bottom here. So, or we'll start from the top. So, myself, Trevor, and Pat are all fighting for those top 2 positions and the prestige of being first place if you want to go for that. So, what are the implications in that? Well, looking at our matches, I'm facing Jamie. Trevor's facing Rob, and Pat's facing Scott. So we're facing against 3 players who have no other bearing, who can't catch us in the standings, anything like that. So it's really, we each have our own independent matches that if anyone wins their match and one of the players do not, the player who loses will probably get third, and the one who wins will probably get second and first. Pat has a special opportunity here because he was able to 3-0 Carl in round 6, and Carl called Retribution, but they have yet to play the match. So 3 more points are available for Pat, and 5 points are available for Carl on top of the round 7 matchups. Excuse me. So, if Pat wins his Retribution match, he'll get 3 more points and automatically he'll get basically first place overall before round 7 matches factor in. So what that will do is that if Pat wins out both his matches, the Retribution and his round 7 matchup, he is automatically first place. He controls his own destiny. Myself, if Pat wins his Retribution match, I get bumped down to second, and if I win the next match, then I will get second place. So I control my own destiny in the sense of if I just win my match, I get top 2. Trevor, on the other hand, is a little bit more worried. If he wins his match, but I also win and Pat also wins out, then Trevor's down to third place. But if either one of us falters at any point in time, then Trevor wins, he'll get top 2. So it's a very tight race to try to get qualified for the semifinals. So that'll be a very interesting race, and look forward to that. Moving right along for fourth place. Now we have an interesting battle for fourth place here. Rob is facing Trevor. So both these players have a lot to writing on this last match here. So Rob, basically looking at the standings, he can't catch Pat or Trevor. They're too far ahead. But look at all these players behind him who are willing to catch up to him. So what I'm seeing here is if Rob wins his match, he guarantees himself the last quarterfinal berth. So he'll secure himself fourth place. However, if Rob does not fully win, it only gets 1 or 2 points or no points, then our next matchup, Greg and Francis, who are both right behind him in 5th and 6th place, only 1 and 2 points behind, they face each other. Francis versus Greg. This is another huge matchup. So what happens here is whoever wins that matchup guarantees himself at least 5th place. So 5th place will be guaranteed to either Greg or Francis, with a chance of claiming 4th place from Rob if he loses to Trevor. So Trevor also can affect the standings down here in the mid-pack as well. So either one of these guys are guaranteed 5th place, and the loser will probably not be guaranteed 6th place, because moving on, Scott is facing Pat. If Scott can manage to squeeze a win against Pat, he will fight for a chance to, actually, looking at this real quick, he will probably guarantee himself 6th place if he wins. If he wins that match, 6th place is guaranteed for Scott. Then you have Adam, who they're both statistically tied, but Scott does hold the tiebreaker from beating Adam earlier in the season. So if both these guys win their matches, Scott will have the edge, and then will have 6th place. Then there's Adam. Adam also has a chance to grab 6th place if he beats Carl. Carl has no standing really overall in terms of where he jumps to in the standings. He will stay 10th guaranteed. So he has a chance to stop Adam having any chance of escaping the first round. So 6th place basically lets you skip the first round of the playoffs. So Adam has a chance. He has to win his match versus Carl, and Scott has to lose. And then there's Jamie, who does have a chance to actually get 6th. It kind of has to be a little bit of a perfect storm, though. Jamie faces myself. If Jamie manages to win, and Adam doesn't win, and Scott doesn't win, then he'll get 6th place, maybe, depending on who loses between Francis and Greg. If, say, Greg loses 3-2, he'll have 19 points, which would be more than the 18 that Jamie will have. Therefore, Greg will get 6th place. So it's quite a few possibilities there of what may happen. So the players in the top 3, who are going to be facing 3 players down here in the mid pack, both sets of players care about those points for different reasons. So everyone's going to be really into it. The only person who's playing spoiler at this point is Carl. Carl doesn't have much to fight for other than to play spoiler against Adam. But even so, everyone else has a stake in the game of where they move up to. So remember, if you're in the bottom 7 here, you're stuck in the first qualifying round. If you're in the 5 and 6, you get to qualifying round 2. 3 and 4, you're in the quarters. 1 and 2, you're in the semis. Also note the schedule. We put some tentative scheduled dates for the playoffs here. We'll have some more details for that in the future. But basically, we want the playoffs to last roughly 2 weeks. And to do that, we have to put hard deadlines in. So what will happen here is February 16th is a Monday. You'll have to the 19th to play your matches. If the matches are not done by that time, we'll have a specific time where players must show up at. If you show up at that time, you get to play your matches. If only one of you show up at that time, you automatically win. Simple as that. We can't let this go for weeks and weeks on end. We have to make sure that these are done promptly. We learned our lesson from the Singleton event that was only supposed to last a week, and it only just finished now, like 3-4 weeks later. So that's the way it's going to be for the playoff guys. I hate to rush it, but the good news is these guys can get their round done earlier, then it gives that much more time for round 2. Really, this is just the later dates are the ultimate deadlines for those rounds. So if you get done earlier, you have more time to play with. In the future, in season 2, we might be able to schedule these things way ahead of time so people are aware of the dates. So a little sooner. So anyways, guys, last round, jockeying for position here. The top 3 are fighting for those top 2 spots. The 4th place, Rob has a chance to lock it in. Otherwise, Francis and Greg will one of them will take it from Rob, and then any one of these players could take 6th place here. So a lot of potential outcomes here. It should be very interesting. Hopefully, you guys are excited, and get ready for the playoffs to start very, very soon. We'll have another analysis video coming up once the regular season matches are done. Until then, guys, have a good one. Happy Hearthstoning, and best of luck in round 7.